And welcome here to John J. Moore Athletic Center, the second part of our NJAC doubleheader. Men's basketball taking on TCNJ. It's NJCU and TCNJ. NJAC action here at NJCU Gothic Vision as the Gothic Knights come off a split performance at the Vegas D3 Hoops Invitational. Big getaway there for them in Vegas, and they found their offense as they'll take on TCNJ on a two-game winning streak, who defeated Rutgers Camden 83-65. As we get here to your starters from the Lions, and obviously the leader in assists in the conference, PJ Ringel, as Travis Jocelyn, and then of course your inside right and far right, the leading rebounder on the team, Ryan Jansen, and of course the conference leader in scoring at 20.7 points per game, Randall Walco. That is your starting five for TCNJ under head coach Matt Goldsmith in his fifth season, the 2017-18 NJAC Coach of the Year. Of course, one thing we're going to get to see in this one, a lot of scoring, as TCNJ third in the NJAC in scoring at 81.6 points per game. And the defense of NJCU been much better on the perimeter, 4 straight games where they've allowed under 10 threes. So let's get to your starting lineups here for the Gothic Knights, as last 2 games the same 3 players have been in double figures, and that's the reason why they've gotten the results. As Jameek Moore, the D3 Hoops Team of the Week, who made it a couple weeks ago, he had 20 points in the last one. Sam Toney, the team's leading scorer, at 15.4 points per game. Quadri Moore, those 3 have been in double figures in back-to-back games. Banks and Myers fill out the 5. Denzel Banks, second in scoring on this team at 15.3 points per game. He was a top 6th man, now in the starting 5, and has made a big-time impact. Of course, in the middle, back to it, and I'll bring in Ira Thor, the man in the middle of that graphic, and that starting 5. Jameek Moore been playing outstanding. This team was 2-4 without him, Ira. They're clearly a different team when Mr. Moore is in the lineup.
Yeah, certainly a case of you don't know what you have until it's gone. Jameek got injured in the Farmingdale State game. Was actually hospitalized with a pretty serious injury, but he's made a pretty quick recovery. Missed 6 games, and without him on the court, the Knights kind of missed that presence of the player who can virtually play every position. Maybe not the 5, but virtually everywhere else. And we're 2-4 without him, and really, he came back against Yeshiva, played well there. I personally think Yeshiva's the best team in the region right now, so not ashamed to lose to the Maccabees the way they're playing this year. Beat Central by 25 at the D3Hoops.com Classic in Las Vegas, and very easily could have beaten River Falls without a field goal for the last 5 minutes of what was a tie game going down the stretch. Jameek Moore right now is the difference maker. Yes, Sam Toney, offense goes through him. He's your 2-time All-American, 2-time NJAC Player of the Year, but Moore right now has been that catalyst. What question mark is point guard. Kyrie Myers, who started the year as the 3rd string point guard, only a freshman behind 2 junior transfers, has emerged as starter in the last 3 games. Not going to give you much from the scoring front, but he doesn't turn the ball over much, and he does fairly well against the press. So the Knights are going to continue to develop him and instead have Tariq Holmes and Adonis Melvin Jr. come off the bench in that role.
Yeah, and you know something, Ira, just 11 turnovers last game against Wisconsin River Falls. That's why you keep the turnovers down, you're right there. So Jocelyn against Moore, and Jocelyn wins the tip back to PJ Ringel, the NJAC leader, with 56 assists as Jocelyn, one of the top 3 scorers on this team. Ryan Jensen, there's their leader in rebounds, total with 89. Gets it as he's watched by Quadri Moore. Now Jensen, head fakes, out to Walco for 3. That one short, board corralled by Denzel Banks. Gonna push it in transition, Banks. That one hit under the rim, looked like Jensen got a piece of it, but he could not come through. Tommy Egan here in this 5. Jocelyn, Walco, Jensen. Egan. Jocelyn down low to Jensen. Kicks out to Egan, extra feed, Walco, deep 3. That one rims out, and the board corralled by Banks, so he has all 2 rebounds for NJCU. Up to Jameek Moore. D3 Hoops Team of the Week. He's played really well, 2 double-figure games during that time in Las Vegas. Tony was part of that as well. Banks comes inside out to Moore. He could shoot the 3 and thought about the pass but shuffled his feet. So it will go over here to TCNJ here in the first half. Offensively, it's all about Randall Walco. Ira, we know what he can do. 12 double-figure games in all 12 this year.
Yeah, certainly a player offensively who's probably one of the more dynamic scorers in the league. I don't think he's the best player at all. Sometimes the top scorer is not your best player, but he's certainly somebody that the Knights are going to have their eye on in this game. He's been a good scorer since he came to the program.
Banks got it from Moore. So Jameek Moore picking up rebound number 1. Quadri Moore in the 2. That off the mark. Jameek Moore battling for the offensive board. At least got another possession for NJCU. And Myers will step in at the guard position. And then on the inbound, out for Sam Toney, team leader in scoring at 15.4 points per game. Moore over to Banks. Now to Quadri Moore, the Cincinnati transfer. Splits a pair. Too strong on the fall away. Gets his own board. Kicks out. Myers for 3. That one off the back iron. Scramble for it, and Jensen with the board. And now Ringel in transition. Still without a bucket here through the first minute and a half. We get our first foul here against NJCU. And Jocelyn now on the inbound. For some players to be replaced last year in this Lions squad. Jocelyn, nice job as a sophomore, second at 16.8 points per game. Walco, who had 11 last year here against NJCU, to Jocelyn, reverses and scores. And the sophomore from Verona has the game's first points. Myers over for Tony, and he carried, so a turnover here by NJCU. We'll go over the TCNJ. As mentioned before, just 11 turnovers in their last matchup against Wisconsin River Falls. They keep it under 15, Ira. They're going to have a chance to really dominate opponents as well.
Yeah, regardless of, the layoff and the fact that a lot of these guys actually got sick in Las Vegas, was something we'll talk about, how these guys have really had a week off, but this is as close to a must-win game as you're going to find on the schedule. Gotham cannot fall to 2-4 in the league. They cannot lose another game at home. Knights are entering this action today, John, and this is shocking to even say it out loud, but the Knights are 2-4 at home this year. That never happens.
Yeah, they were so good at home last year. Almost unbeatable.
Almost unbeatable at home every year. They're maybe not Ramapo, but right up there.
Egan for 3. That one is short, so just 2 points through the first 3.5. Myers looking to Tony, and I thought maybe TCNJ got a piece of that, but referees didn't see that, so Jameer Calhoun will step in as he comes from Brookdale Community College. Last year, by far their best player, 25 starts in 26. Last year, 394 points, 15.2 points per game, trying to replace several seniors, 5+ at the part of the season ago. Great defense by Quadri Moore on Ringel. And, I got to tell you, Ira, he has a lot of length. That helps you defensively.
Yeah, and you just nailed it. Quadri Moore cutting off that passing lane, forced that pass to be too far to the baseline. And the Knights need to continue to force turnovers. It's something that they've always done well in the Mark Brown era, is force turnovers, see if they can score in some transition. They got a lot of speed, especially out of a player like a Denzel Banks.
Jameek Moore from deep. Good! There's your first field goal made, as both teams are 1 for 6 total. And NJCU with their first lead, just 5 points through. You're getting close now, the first 4 minutes. These two teams top 5 in points per game in the conference, as Egan trying to find the cutting Jensen to Walco.
Almost walked there.
Oh yeah, missed that, but Jocelyn on the 3. That one could not be corralled by Jensen and knocked out of his hand.
That was Calhoun forcing what would have been a rebound and became a Gothic Knight possession.
As Moore keep doing that on the baseline, short as Jocelyn with the board. Ringel outlets to Egan.
More of those missed layups that we were talking about in the women's game.
You're right about concentration. Walco, Jocelyn, Egan to Jensen for 3. That one is short, long rebound, And TCNJ not following their shots. Pretty easy on the board so far for NJCU. Now Banks will set things up as just 9 points for Denzel last game. 9 points in that win against TCNJ here last year. As Moore, to Quadri Moore from Jameek Moore out to Banks, and a traveling violation called. So through this first part of it, just 5 total points in just 5+ minutes. John Kelly Jr., Ira Thor, and Paul Tanaselli, our producer and director, as NJCU just had 11 turnovers last game, and of course 4 early on here, but up by 1 in this one. Are you following the Gothic Knights on Instagram? On your mobile device, follow at NJCU Gothic Knights to follow all the action for all of our teams. Learn about upcoming events, award winners, news, or just see great video and photo content, which you do have. Plus, team takeovers on IG stories. Follow NJCU on Instagram today. One of those great photos you could check out, the soccer team got a chance to play in the ECACs this year, the men's soccer team. So a pretty cool photo put on there. So check that out on the NJCU Gothic Knights Instagram page. Jensen Ringel. Walco. And Mike Wally playing his first action. Here comes Danny Bodine, the conference leader with 21 blocks. Got a lot of length inside. Ringel out to Jensen. To Walco. To Jensen. Back to Walco. Conference leader at 20.7 points per game. Off 32 last game. Working on Myers. 2 to shoot. His J off the back iron. Banks with the board. To Myers in transition. Down low Calhoun. Back to Myers. Fires a 3. That one off the left glass. And he shouldn't really be taking a shot there, Ira.
No, not as an offensive player at this point in his career.
And that one goes down. So TCNJ finally getting a bucket as they're back in front here by 1.
What you want out of Myers, control the offense, don't turn it over, get players involved, find people, follow up. That they'll take. They'll take cutting down the lane if you see the opening. But get Jameek Moore involved. Jameek Moore involved is going to make Sam Toney a lot more open because he's not going to command the double team that he just is going to at this stage of his career, being the conference player of the year back-to-back years.
So Myers will go to the free throw line. He's so important, and he misses the first of 2. And foul shooting 76.9 at the free throw line, but they've shot 70% or better in the last 3 games, which is what you'd like to see, Ira. For the youngster here, you got to at least go 1 for 2 and get it tied at 4. He goes 0 for 2. Jensen, the easy board.
Can't have a 0 for 2 trip from the line. Every point in a game like this is going to be valuable. And again, it sounds easy to say in a 4-3 game, but these two teams play a lot of tight action. Everybody's off the mark right now.
The TCNJ not connecting on 3. As Myers to Calhoun. Now Banks. Check that. Moore with it. Fades away. That one rims out. Jensen the board. And neither team can really buy a bucket right now. As Ringel in transition plants up to Jensen for 3. Good. And he caught that in rhythm and knocked down. So 4-point lead for TCNJ. A 5-0 run since the 3-2 NJCU lead. Moore to Toney. He'll see doubles, and he turns it over. As Bodine gets the steal, although the forced steal should have been given to Jensen there, not the double team. Ringel driving on Moore, back out to Jensen. To Bodine. To Wally. Lobbing for Jensen, threw it away, zone giving TCNJ some trouble. Now can Moore convert, over to Toney. Lay-in. Good! Oh, almost went out, gets the hometown roll. And NJCU within a possession as Toney had 10 last game.
Off day for Toney. He's had a couple off games this year. He's had a pretty good year overall. I don't know. Oh, that is another triple knocked down by the lines. I don't think Sam's had another, at least through the halfway mark, NJAC Player of the Year type year. He's still a first-team All-Conference player regardless, but he came in as the preseason National Player of the Year by D3 News and has not played like
there's the 22nd block by Danny Bodine, conference and team leader.
Has not played like a first-team All-American this year.
Walco on the three. Off the back iron as Darley with the defensive board. TCNJ had made their last 2 threes. Darley able to knock down a key 2. And NJCU within 3. They've trailed by as much as 5. Just 5 points in this first half through the first 5 minutes. Now both teams catching their stride. Bodine going to Walco. One-on-one with Jameek Moore. Hook shot. Air ball. What defense by Jameek Moore.
They've held Walco now 0 for 5 shooting. How long can they keep league's top scorer off the board? Well, that could be your turning point in this game early on if they can keep him scoreless and force somebody else to beat you, which has to be the strategy.
Moore from 3. Tie basketball game as NJCU on a 5-0 run. And TCNJ going to call a timeout. We're tied at 10. Both teams have put together 5-0 runs. And NJCU, the last one, as we're tied at 10 here on NJCU Gothic Vision. Did you know that NJCU Gothic Vision has its own app? It's true. If you have an iPhone, go to the App Store and download the NJCU Gothic Vision app today. It's free. Watch all home games that you cannot attend live on your mobile device. And if you miss it live or just want to see it again, go back and watch on demand. All of this available now on Gothic Vision. Get the app today. Joined alongside our SID, Ira Thor, Paul Tanaselli, your producer and director. I'm John Kelly Jr., NJCU, putting together a 5-0 run to erase a 5-point deficit as both teams now picked up their shooting. There's 8 combined field goals knocked down. Ryan Jensen with 5 points, 6 points from Jameek Moore off of 3 straight double-figure games.
Quadri Moore back out there. He is a very interesting player, as we're starting to see. As
Larinaga.
At this level, John, he's a center. He's got to be at 6'8", 6'9", but you could see how he truly is a center at this level in a small forward in a center's body, because he loves to pop those threes from 25 feet. He's able to connect. He's a top 3-point shooter on the team. Be interesting to see how he gets involved with the NJCU perimeter game now that the Knights have been able to open it up from the perimeter after finally scoring inside.
Here's Tariq Holmes. His first action, Jeff Haddock Jr.
Haddock had the only support of anybody in Las Vegas. He's actually living in Las Vegas now. His family moved there from Willingboro last spring, so he had a whole fan section there in Vegas.
And Danny Bodine doesn't have much of a fan section here, but his bench likes that as TCNJ retakes the lead by 2.
He had more fans than any player on any team, men's or women's, in the whole tournament.
Moore feeds a cutting Darley, and that one blocked by Wally, but it will stay with NJCU. Of course, Haddock he had a career-high 26 against Stevens last year. He's a vet, came as a midseason transfer from Rowan. As Moore to Darley. Haddock Jr. trying to go to Calhoun, out to Tariq Holmes, 10 to shoot. Here's Quadri Moore. He's been playing great basketball as well. Spins, kicks out. Haddock Jr. for 3. That one off the mark. Calhoun can't follow off the glass.
Cannot buy a layup. It's unbelievable how many wide open shots NJCU, men and women, and quite frankly, it's not just us. It's a lot of teams, as we talked about, but just miss.
As that's a 3-point play opportunity, is knocked down for 2, and with a foul is Jocelyn on the lay-in. So the Verona, New Jersey product, an opportunity at a 3-point play, tied first with 4 20-point games. 21 points against Rowan this year. His best 23 against Old Westbury, and a chance to convert some free throws. Third with 44 made, 59 attempted. And he connects. So the lead back to 5 for TCNJ. That is the largest they have led by here in this first half. Three ball off the mark from Tony. As NJC able to get back, he stopped the ball. As Jocelyn, Bodine trying to find the cutting. Jocelyn does, and he gets fouled before that one blocked by Deshaun Emmanuel. So that is the third NJCU foul, and Travis Jocelyn to the line. Of course, he has 12 double-figure games in all 12 this year. Sophomore center, plays more like a small forward, Ira. What a matchup issue he can be, we've seen so far. So he knocks down the first of 2 free throws.
And JCU won for their last 6 from the field. And TCNJ trying to push this to a 7-point lead as we're under the halfway point here in the first half.
As Jocelyn goes 2 for 2 at the line, the Lion lead up to 7, largest it has been.
Lions a good foul shooting team on the year, 73%. Been to the line a lot. Over 289 chances in the first 12 games of the year.
And they're pretty darn good as a rebounding squad, 496.
Great hustle there by Jeff Haddock after the errant pass from Tariq Holmes. Holmes into the game at the point guard spot, and hopefully the Knights can get something out of who started the year as the point guard.
And Jocelyn picking up the second TCNJ foul. So that will be his first. As Tariq Holmes, got, again, 4 points against Yeshiva. 5 games of 4 or more assists, had 9 against Kane. Again, started the season really as the point guard and kind of lost his luster. And now Kyrie Myers, the new guy, but still he brings a lot, Ira. 8 to shoot. Tony's got to go. Fadeaway shot. That one way off the mark, and good defense by Jensen on him. Sterling White now in transition. Out to Jocelyn. Looked like he got away with a push-off. In the corner, White. 3 is off the mark. Good box out by Deshaun Emmanuel.
Yeah, great rebound, reaching up and boxing out to pull that one down. But another missed layup. What is it?
Good job by Wally to make that a tough shot. Jocelyn trying to reverse. And Darley, I think, threw that off Jensen. But where was he when he touched it? And they will give it over to NJCU. Denzel Banks, Jameek Moore coming in. Tariq Holmes will come out. Haddock and Tony. Calhoun, Emmanuel. And Darley in the 5 for NJCU. Gothic Knights trying to get a win here in conference play. It's a must-win now, at least if they want to host a playoff game. As TCNJ on a 7-0 run. Banks feeds a cutting Calhoun. And that one, no good. It got partially blocked from behind. Ringel to Larinaga, but he automatically turns it right back over. It was 7:29 to go. Randall Walker will come in. Larinaga will step off. So, on the offensive side here, Ira, talk about Jameek Moore playing so well. 3 straight double-figure games. He has 6. Other players have to step up. Calhoun, eyed up by Walco. Of course, some scoring could help if you would make a couple of layups. NJCU has missed some easy ones. They have been contested. 8 to shoot. Banks has got to get going scoring. Pulls up and connects. That's a tough shot over all 6'6" of Travis Jocelyn. So Banks comes through with his first 2 points. Lead of TCNJ down to 5. As Ringel to Jocelyn. Over to Ryan Jensen. Third in scoring at 14.9 points per game. Ringel drives his lefty float off the mark. Jensen battling for the offensive board. Alongside Emmanuel. It touched Emmanuel last. So we'll stay with And the inbound but here from Ringel. Walco trying to get going scoring-wise. Oh, a late foul. And I thought Walco had lost control of that, so 4th to NJCU, and it goes here to Deshaun Emmanuel. So Walco at the free throw line. So we apologize here. Mics were a little mixed up, so we apologize for some of the dead air. We'll get that fixed. As Walco knocks down, lead back to 7, largest it has been for TCNJ. As Jameek Moore setting up. 20-point performance last game for him as Calhoun trying to look down low to a cutting Manuel, nothing there. Out to Moore, eyed up by Ringel. And a traveling violation against TCNJ as Nazir Scott, the freshman from Glassboro, can get a chance to get that 3 registered. So Ringel will bring it up.
Coach Brown asking his players the million-dollar question. Do you think that was a good shot? I think he said it to Nazaire.
Walco, tough take. Good defense by Nazaire as he did a great job to get it back defensively. And, of course, Emmanuel with the rebound and the 3rd TCNJ foul. So rebounding on the outset here been pretty good by NJCU. Dominating that category at a +2 margin, but still down by 7.
It's been a low-scoring game so far. Neither team can really find a way to break out. The Lions are shooting just 26%. The Knights 22.5%.
And then after that steal by Walco, he traveled. So we'll go right back to NJCU as Jameek Moore leads all scorers with 6. But Gothic Knights struggling to find the scoring from other areas.
Now, the Knights had all of last week off. That was by design. Coming back from Las Vegas, obviously the first cross-country trip regular season in the history of NJC basketball. What they didn't count on, as Scott drills it.
Yeah, that was a much-needed 3.
Well,
needed to go down.
What they did not count on was the fact that so many guys were going to get sick going out to Vegas. Some were sick already, on the way out, just coming back from the holidays, as that's a traveling violation. But a majority of the team had either a bad cold or some kind of a virus. Sometimes you pick it up when you travel. Sometimes, things happen when you're on a plane. But, most of the team is healthy finally. We do have to say and send our best wishes to get well to our Associate Athletic Director for Internal Operations, Jeffrey Jordan, is watching this game at home in Point Pleasant. He's been under the weather since the trip, and we hope that he feels better. We know he is watching.
Yeah, and Ira, at the same time, you're losing fluids there if you're sick on those trips. It hurts you in a basketball game just for the amount of running you do. As Ringel helping to force that steal that was picked up by Bodine. As PJ is also the team leader in that category with 24 coming in. Bodine to Walco. And that 3 is good. He cannot get going from deep. As Walco now with 5 points, finally starting to get it together. As he came in the team leader with 33s made. That's his 31st.
He had been 0 for 6 from the field prior to that shot.
And Ringel going to get whistled for the foul. So that's his first. And that will be the 4th for TCNJ as Banks going to come off. Jameek Moore, Scott, Calhoun, Tony, and Darley in the 5 for NJCU. Down by 7, Scott trying to go inside. Calhoun having a battle for it, and Ringel couldn't keep it alive, so it stays with NJCU, 9 to shoot. Moore leads all scorers with 6. Scott got 3. It was a big 3 by him before. Team leader at 60% from 3. Darley, nice head fake, 7 to shoot. Shot is short, and the rebound corralled by Jensen. His 4th rebound today, leading all Glassmen. 7-point lead for TCNJ, large as it has been. It could get larger with 4:03 to go. Bodine hands off to Ringel, to Walco. Goes inside the 3. Back out to Ringel, 4 to shoot. He's got to go. Crosses up, 2 to shoot. Ringel fades away. That one off the back iron. And good defense. Now NJCU has to convert. Moore trying to fake out Walco. Out to Scott. Down low, Tony. Good one-on-one matchup. Tony, that one off the mark and clearly drew a ton of contact. No call.
Shocking to me the amount of contact that Tony draws and does not get the benefit of the call.
And they're going to call a foul now against NJCU as Scott was boxing out for that defensive board. So that will be the 5th to NJCU as Travis Jocelyn, who leads all scorers with 7, going to come in for Ryan Jensen. Deshaun Emmanuel checks in for Calhoun. And Donis Melvins Jr. to come in for Scott. So his first action, Emmanuel Toney. Darley Moore in the 5. As Jocelyn working on Moore. Oh, that's a charge. Easy call on the baseline, Ira.
Yeah, and Moore did a good job of recognizing where the play was going. Took the step towards the baseline to allow himself to set up for that charge. That's an intelligent play. You could tell that Jameek Moore has an extremely high basketball IQ when you see him make decisions like that.
Both teams have struggled from the field. TCNJ shooting 26.9, just 24% shooting for NJCU. Melvins Jr. to Jameek Moore, one-on-one with Wally. Down low to Emmanuel, lefty hook, way off. And the board by Jensen, his 6th. Now Sterling White into the front court to Jensen. Dr.
J is rolling over in his bed somewhere, seeing that hook shot.
Wally to White. And a foul now on NJCU, so that will be their 6th. And it goes to Melvins Jr. So Sterling White to inbound.
I was going to say that Dr. J is rolling over in his grave seeing that hook shot, and then you were going to respond, but Dr. J is not dead, and I was going to say that that shot might have done it.
Well, if you were a psychic, I wouldn't pay you, because that was not what I was going to say, although I might have said he schooled my father in the summer league. That's a true story, as Walco going to get 2 free throws. Doesn't school Melvins Jr., but does get him another foul, his 2nd, his team's 7th. And now Randy Walco at the line. Man who made 2nd team All-Region in D3 hoops last year. NJAC leading scorer, 20.7 points per game. 20.2 last year, and he cannot make the first of 2.
Tony's still arguing about the previous non-foul call.
Which I think he has an absolute argument about, Ira. I mean, you know, got contact. He was definitely there. Eventually those have to call as Walco goes 1 for 2 at the line. TCNJ leading by 8, largest they have led by in this one. Their NJCU tied this at 10, just 5 points.
Gothic Knights have not scored in close to 3 minutes.
13-5, been outscored during that time. Denzel Banks, a guy who they have to get going. To Tony, 10 to shoot. 8 to shoot, Banks has got to go. Double teamed. And just threw it away. As this trap and zone that's being played by head coach Goldsmith, just giving NJCU trouble. And the way to break it, Ira, is just quicker passing.
9 turnovers for the Knights here in the first half. This is the game right now that it's being served up to them on a silver platter. They're playing good defense. TCNJ is struggling to find their shot. The Knights themselves, though, are turning the ball over, and they're not shooting well either. I don't know if this is just these teams both emerging from the break, kind of sluggish or what. I mean, that pass right there wasn't even a good one.
Yeah, but Sterling White too strong on that 3. Almost knocked it down as Myers out to Moore. Jameek's got to get going.
Somebody needs to take over this game. It should be Tony. This should be Tony's team. And he has just not been playing the same way in the first half of the year as we expect him.
Battles for that board, wins it. Laying off the left rim. Looked like he got fouled really hard as well. And a jump ball. As good job by Emmanuel to jump on it. And it's going to go to TCNJ. White will come out. Ringel in. Alongside Jensen, Bodine, Mike Wally, and Randy Walco. 1:30 to go. 8-point TCNJ lead, have outscored NJCU 13-5 since we were tied at 10.
Tony's still complaining about the contact, and while he's got a point, Coach Brown with the counterpoint that you got to make one of these layups.
And that will be the 6th foul to TCNJ as clearly Bodine was over the back, so Haddock Jr. will come in. And Banks going to come out, and we heard Coach Brown say, come on, come in there and make a shot. He has a point, Ira. I mean, just been really hard for NJCU to find any scoring.
I feel bad for Jeff. I mean, Jeff Haddock Jr. came in. He was a great player at Rowan. He had a very good start to his Gothic Knight career, and for whatever reason, he's the captain of this team. He is, and he should be. He's a leader. But he just can't score. I don't know if it's something mental right now with Jeff, but he's just not been able to get a consistent shot for about a year.
As Myers turned that over, Ringel to Walco, 3-ball. Good. Oh, that's a huge 3 points off of turnovers. And now the lead to 11 for the first time today for TCNJ in double digits. And then Haddock Jr., who we talked about, turns it over. And it's been a very tough first half here by NJCU as the double digits in turnovers. So a 19-second shot clock, the game clock advantage as TCNJ 16-5 down the stretch. They've outscored NJCU, and Randy Walco drawing the foul on Jameek Moore. So NJCU over the limit, and you'll have a 1-and-1 here for Walco. First to Jameek Moore.
Gothic Knights scoreless now over a stretch of 4-12 and counting.
As Walco misses that, so Manuel with a big board, like what he's done, 33 seconds to go. Tony's got to take over. Feeds, Manuel lays it home. Finally, the first bucket in the last 4:20 of this one for NJCU. 22 seconds to go. Holmes watching Ringel. 18 seconds to go. Shot clock is turned off. Lions holding for the final shot. You know whose hands it's in. Randall Walco. 10 to go. One-on-one with Jameek Moore. Pick set by Jensen. He didn't want to do it. He'll take it himself. 3 seconds to go. Wally from 3. That one off the mark. Larinaga trying to bat it home on the follow. Could not. And after the first half, it is 26-17 TCNJ. And Ira, you know, the thoughts, great defense by NJCU, but scoring has to come there as both teams shoot under 30% from the field in the first half.
I'm beginning to wonder whether it's been great defense by both teams or just terrible offense. And I think these are the kind of games that you're going to see in the beginning of the second half of the season. You know, teams have been idle for a little bit. The Knights, of course, haven't done anything other than practice, since they came back from Vegas, and they were idle for a week. So they're still trying to figure things out. The Lions, 26.7% in the first 20 minutes. The Gothic Knights, 24.1%. And the Knights have to find a way to get to the line more. Only 2 visits to the stripe in the first half. 12 turnovers, completely uncharacteristic of this squad. And those 12 turnovers, well, John, guess what? You turn the ball over, it's going to lead to points. And TCNJ has gotten 6 easy points off of turnovers. The Knights have actually outscored the Lions off turnovers, 10-6. But the Lions hit crucial shots off those giveaways, including the triple from the far side there by Walco that pushed this lead into double figures.
So we'll go here into halftime. Stats on your screen by our producer and director, Paul Tatnaselli. It's the Lions of TCNJ 26 and NJCU 17. Final half coming up after these messages. and NJCU both shot under 30% in that first half, as that looked like a block by Tony, completely all ball. And he'll get whistled for the first NJCU foul, and Walco to the line.
It's amazing to me. I've never seen a league player of the year get the less benefit of a doubt than Sam Tony does, and I don't understand why. That, to me, was an obvious clean block.
And Walco getting to the line. To me, it looked like nothing but all ball there, Ira. So Walco able to go at least 1 for 2, and the lead back to 10. TCNJ led by as much as 11 in the first half. Here's Quadri Moore out to Banks. 2 key scorers that got to get going. Holmes to Banks. Out for Tony. Down low, Quadri Moore. Double comes. Kicks out. Moore, 3. Good! And good start for Jameek Moore in the offense.
Jameek Moore, they need him to find a way to heat up here.
And we have a whistle here, as almost stolen by Holmes. And now Jameek Moore with 9 points, leading all scorers in this one. Another scoring has to come. Denzel Banks, second on this team at 15.3 points per game. Ringle to Walco. Good from 3, and he's starting to feel his stroke. He has 13 points.
They held him over 6 to start the game, but you knew that was going to be temporary.
Tony out for Banks. Who wants to take a shot? Denzel does. That one off the mark. Moore, good offensive board. Out to Banks. Working on Ringle. That one hit the side of the bucket on the floater. Easy board for Jensen, and then Jameek Moore picks up his second foul. And NJCU giving away 2 fouls early here in the second half. The real question about NJCU, who wants to get the bucket? The 17 first half points, just 1 more than the 16 a season low. That was against Rutgers Newark, who just played suffocating D. NJCU played really good D in that first half. Of course, TCNJ third coming in the conference with 40.3 field goal percentage allowed. As Walco's 3 off the mark, and now NJCU got to get it going on offense. And how do you get Tony going here, Ira?
I mean, right now, Tony needs a basket to kind of just get his confidence back. Somebody's a streaky shooter, can obviously just start hitting up from downtown.
Banks. That one rims out, and Moore almost had the offensive board. Jocelyn able to grab it after it was knocked out of Moore's hand.
Banks is drawn ice cold. I mean, Banks is not a shooter. Banks, and we list him as a shooting guard, Banks is a transition scorer. That's his strength. You're going to see it here.
Well, he had the opportunity as Moore had completely lost control of that. Maybe slipped on the floor. Tony, 3. That one off the right rim. Easy board for Jocelyn. And the struggles from the field continue for NJCU. Walco reverses that one short, and Jocelyn there to clean it up as he has 9 points. Lead now to 12 for TCNJ, largest they have led by. They led 26-17 at the half. Holmes out for Banks. And Tony drawing contact. And it's on Jocelyn. We'll see which number foul it is on him. It should be his 3rd. Guy who's 2nd in scoring, coming in at 16.8 points per game. So coming in right now is Bodine. They may lose scoring, but they get a great blocker in Bodine, conference leader.
The Knights are going to need to start finding some way to score inside. They have not done well in the paint in this game. In fact, they've only scored 4 points in the paint the entire game.
Quadri Moore gets doubled and threw that off a pair of TCNJ players. So stay with NJCU as Tariq Holmes, 2nd with 29 assists to inbound. Won a D3 title at Brookdale Community College. He's going to drive, trying to float that over the big arms of Bodine. Didn't get any rim. Ringle to Egan, fires for 3. Good. Man, that is an unbelievable transition assist there by Ringle. And the lead for TCNJ now to 15, largest it has been. Unbelievable, Ira. It's a transition game.
Well, it's not just that, it's the shot selection. What kind of shot is it driving to the rim and just throwing it high off the glass? in what basketball world is that a good shot? And to me, it's all coming down here to shot selection. They're not making good decisions. They're running the plays. They're doing everything to execute, but they're not hitting shots. And I think at this point, maybe there's a little bit of frustration that's building up a little bit because they're not able to hit the outside shots, so they're forcing some unwise decisions. To me, you got to be more patient out there. Yes, now you're behind by 15. 17 minutes of play. I mean, that's plenty of time to chip away at this. You've seen leads, like this fall in 5 minutes, let alone 15. Slow this game down a little bit. Play your style of basketball. Run the plays. Take wiser shots. I don't want to see forced shots driving to the rim.
Well, you want to talk about Rutgers Newark. It's a team that defeated NJCU. They're leading Montclair State by 15 in that one last time we checked. So pretty impressive. Montclair State still undefeated in the NJAC. Is a big three knocked down by Peyton Darley. So I guess that's a shot selection, Ira, and it works. And now can NJCU force the turnover?
Well, the Knights are going to press. This is their strength.
And that will be the third NJCU foul. It really looks, you look at the first foul that Tony drew, that was all ball. Do you think Holmes got there?
I think Holmes was late there.
Late? Yeah, that's what I would have said.
I think that was a good call.
How he's in the process of shooting, I don't know. But if you make 1 for 2, Ira, was Walco in the process of shooting? To me, just seemed like that'd be a regular dead ball foul.
I thought he was still on the ground, so I question whether that was a shooting foul, but it was definitely a foul.
Well, that we could definitely confirm. And Walco now with 14, leading all scorers. Tony sees the double. Holmes, extra feed, rejected by Jensen as Calhoun tried to go up, and Jensen in there in time. Bodine threw it off the foot of Moore, so turnover. Steal will be credited to Tony. Outlets for Darley. Caton to Holmes. Feeds Calhoun. His laying off the mark, trying to get a foul called. Moore to Darley. Tees up a three, they need it. Got it! So NJCU within 11. And Ira, I'd go back to Darley if he feels confident from there.
Yeah, Darley right now seems to be the one player confident. You saw him how he looked at where he was standing and calmly popped it as a hand was coming to his face.
Walco for three. That off the mark. Tony with the big board. Outlets for Holmes. Transition. This is where the scoring gets going for NJCU. As Jameek Moore rushed a three. Bodine. And the ability of what, and then check that wrinkle on the handle, but just what he can do, leading the conference, coming in with 56 assists. That's why you have to get back, as Bodine, the man mentioned before incorrectly by me, can't connect with them on the give and go, but it will stay with TCNJ.
By the way, the reason you're seeing so many minutes from Deshaun Emanuel tonight, who's been he's been used off the bench, but more of a third team, the third option at power forward / center this year, is because Michael Clement, the NJAC Rookie of the Week a couple weeks ago, was a game-time scratch.
Both him and Jameek Moore got back-to-back honors as Jensen knocks down the three. You give him that much time, Ira, he's going to knock down as the big guy coming away with a three knockdown. And now they'll lead to 14. As Moore will reset. 9 points for him in this one. Driving on Walco, out to Holmes, fires a three, air ball. Not sure why Holmes would shoot from there.
Holmes not the person I would go to. He's not a three-point shooter. At least he's not proven to be this so far this year. Again, comes up the shot selection. I understand he's open, but you got to also understand your strengths.
And that foul to Tariq Holmes. So now Kyrie Myers coming back in.
Yeah, that's to be expected too. Holmes, he's got to make better decisions. And Holmes on the year, by the way, just 5 of 22 from three-point range coming in, 22.5%. And then air ball on a three, you're going to find yourself buried at the end of the bench.
Walco to Jensen, and that's an easy call for the officials. Darley just put contact into him, and Jensen will go to the line. Ryan Jensen has had back-to-back 100 rebound seasons. Last year, of course, 182, which was 5th in the NJAC, 2nd right now in the NJAC. And he misses the first of two.
You saw on the rim camera, when the day started, that camera was straight. That's what happens with these pregame dunks.
So Jensen able to at least go 1 for 2. Sophomore year, he's second in the NJAC. This year, second in rebounding and rebounding average. As Emmanuel get called up, now Myers has to knock that down. Bodine battling for it. Who did it touch last? It touched an NJCU player, and this Gothic Knight team looks so out of rhythm, Ira.
I'm surprised. A team that I saw in Vegas that had figured it out, even though they lost.
As Emmanuel with a great steal, and he just gives it right away. It's hard to explain.
If the Knights do not, make it, that's a great block. I think that was a block right there. I question that call.
That's a complete block on Bodine. I don't know what the call was.
I question that call there by Art Jackson, the official. That was not a foul, but.
So he'll get 2 free throws.
I think it's too late to see that one again. I think we've gone a little too far in the broadcast. Otherwise, I'd have Paul bring that one up again. But, the team I saw in Vegas had it figured out. It would be a real shame for Sam Toney with the career he's had for this team not to live up to their potential his final year. He's already over 1,500 points. He's going to be a top 4 to 5 scorer in school history. He's gotten pretty much every laurel you could ask for. But he has never won a championship.
Yeah, he's got to get it going now. And he gets rejected by Bodine. Just cleaning up the excellent defense by Jensen, as Bodine with his second block today. 23 on the year, tops on the team and in the NJAC. As NJCU really struggling offensively. Wally open for 3. That one off the left rim. Toney outlets now. NJCU has to score here. Myers. That one off the mark. Looked like Ringel had fouled him. No call. And is NJCU trying to do that lean in too much, and you think the officials see it, Ira?
I mean, clearly you're trying to draw a foul. Anybody in transition, that's just become what basketball is now. But you gotta finish. I'm sorry, you have these opportunities. You gotta finish the layups.
Walco now is 17, as it is now an 18-point lead for TCNJ. And Mark Brown wants to talk it over with his guys. He's had enough, as the Lions are roaring here in this second half, as they're outscoring NJCU 18-9. John Kelly Jr. alongside Ira Thor here on NJCU Gothic Vision. Your producer and director is Paul Tanaselli. And the last NJCU bucket is at the 16:04 mark, so they've gone a legit 3 minutes plus without a bucket. And, in that time, Ira, TCNJ able to knock down threes when needed. 7-0 run.
Knights are shooting 22.7% from the floor. Drew, no other way to frame it.
Just a tough shooting night. I mean, you look at what happened against Rutgers Newark. They shot 33.3%. And, again, most of that was second half shooting where they were really good. They were behind, clearly, by 18 at the half in that one. And that one, a shocking one. I mean, do you see similarities to this game with that one, Ira? Or was that just a great defensive performance? I mean, last time we checked, Rutgers Newark and that explosive offense from Montclair State was held to just 13 points. So
now Rutgers Newark's defense is the best in the conference that I've seen in probably a decade. So they get full credit for the way they were able to shut down NJCU in that game, because they're going to do it to a lot of teams. But the Knights' shot selection has been suspect at best in this game. Simply put it, though, the foul discrepancy right now, and I don't like to point this out too much, but it's an obvious factor in this game. TCNJ been to the line 16 times, 11 for 16, about 70%. Good day for them. NJCU's been to the line twice.
Montclair State just 13 points total in that Rutgers Newark game, losing that one 32-13. They're undefeated alongside Stockton at 5-0 in the conference. Is out of the timeout. Darley cannot knock down from 3. Knocked down 2 earlier in this one. Is Sterling White with it?
Well, Joe Logren's never been the NJAC Coach of the Year. I think you can make a strong case for that this year.
Akbar Hoffman and that offense that has several 100-point games. Unbelievable job. And Ryan Jensen making now this a 20-point game for TCNJ, as he's in double figures. So 2 Lions in double figures. No NJCU players in double figures. 3 players were in double figures in back-to-back. Tony Moore, Quadri Moore.
We haven't seen with Quadri Moore at all.
Hasn't. And another really awful shot by Jeff Haddock Jr. And the man we mentioned comes in now. Just tough to explain in this one. 10 of 46 total shooting.
Haddock is a player that you root for. He's somebody who's in the gym every day working out, working on his shot. And to see him just struggle like this is just very hard to watch.
So Wally misses that 3. NJCU has to go now.
I'd let Moore try to open it up from outside. He's proven he's able to do it.
Yeah, he's second in that category in threes made. Keeps his plant foot, lay-in off the mark, and finally give a foul at TCNJ, as it's been tough inside. So
now Quadri Moore has drawn a lot of fouls. He's been to the line 52 times this year at second on the team, only behind Denzel Banks, and he's done it in far less playing time.
Calhoun on the floor, Darley, Melvins Jr., Haddock Jr., and Quadri Moore. Good start by Darley on that drive, a 3-point play opportunity, and I would continue to go to number 23, even if the shot does not look good. He's confident, Ira.
Darley's leading the Knights right now with 10 points. Your top 2 scorers, all year, your 2 returning NJAC all-conference players, Banks and Tony, have just 2 points each, combined 1 out of 14. And while Tony's grabbed 6 boards, he's your leading rebounder. He hasn't given you anything offensively. Banks has been ice cold for probably a 3 or 4 game stretch. I'm going to pull up his recent numbers so we can talk about that a little bit further. But I don't understand. Tony at least commands a double team most of the time, so you understand, and there's some frustration here as that one's well short. Quadri Moore gets tied up, but you look at Denzel Banks, and he had scored in double figures in 7 of the first 8 games of the year. Since the Montclair State game, where he scored 22 points, 4 points against Rutgers Newark on 1 of 8 shooting. He bounced back with 17 against Yeshiva on a good night. Just took 7 shots against Central, scored 9 points. Took just 5 shots against River Falls, scored 6 points. He has disappeared. His average has fallen from 18.5 points down to 15.3 in just 3.5 games.
Melvins Jr. to Quadri Moore. Extra feed. Lay-in is good, so Moore will get the assist, as that one's good by Jameer Calhoun. Nice patience by Moore. So let's see what happens. As Larinaga, Darley comes up, doesn't try to draw the foul, as NJCU 1 away from giving foul shooting bonus to TCNJ. Bodine out to Sterling White, 8 to shoot. White, and he traveled. Great job by Quadri Moore to force that turnover, and the Cincinnati transfer helping out here. And now NJCU got to keep it rolling. Darley has an open look. Going to go in for 2. Man, he had several types of looks.
Moore, by the way, originally thought he was getting called for a foul there. You saw his reaction.
Tries to feed underneath the Darley. Caton keeps with it. Still time on the shot clock. Driving on Egan. Splits it. Comes back to the top of the parabola. 9 to shoot. 7 to shoot. Darley. 1-on-1 with Egan. 4 to shoot. Out. Calhoun for 3. Air ball. Great defense by TCNJ. Now White up to Bodine. That knocked away from him, but it was touched by Calhoun. So Walco will come in. Larinaga will come out. Ringgold comes in. And Ringgold will inbound. Now with 63 assists. 144 for his career. Out for Walco, driving, scoops, off the mark. How about Quadri Moore on the glass? That's good. So now you got to come up with some points.
He's got to be more involved with this game. He's got to be the player that starts to take over like he's able to.
Fades away. And that one rims out. It was a good look, just would not fall. Had a nice soft touch. The rim didn't help him.
Still a lot of time to go with here, 9:14 and change. The Knights have room for a run, but not if shots like that fall down.
Well, that was also, you force TCNJ to take those quick shots. You have the time. Moore driving. And he traveled before he drew contact. And
he got caught.
Well, yeah, just seems to be weird. I mean, NJCU's last game was really before the new year, and they've had some time off. That's the 14th turnover for them.
He was a step slower than he was thinking there. You could see what is another reach-in foul by Melvins. You could see exactly what Moore had in mind, but it's just uncharacteristic turnovers so far in this game, and then you conclude that with the shot selection in the first 30 minutes. I'll say 28 minutes. I think since Quadri's come back in the game, they've gotten some better looks. I think just because of the respect that he does command out there.
This is a normally very good free throw shooting team, TCNJ. So put a chance away to put this one away. Quadri Moore, no foul, and just good defense by Ryan Jensen. They just could not get the calls. NJCU this evening. Walco now to Jocelyn. Next whistle, Jameek Moore. A couple other players will check in as a late foul as Jocelyn went up. You can see who they give this to. So Melvins Jr. with his third and his team's 8th. So now Jocelyn at the line. Of course, last year, Niall Carpenter, Liam Byrne, team captain. 3 of them left, Jordan Glover and Montano. And Jocelyn's had to come in and really step up, and has, as he now is in double figures for the 13th time in 13 games this year. Had 12 against Rutgers Camden. Trying to go at least 2 for 2. His team came in second in the NJAC, shooting 73.3% from the free throw line. And Jocelyn goes 2 for 2.
Sorry about that.
The
stat computer decided to have the white screen of death, but we fixed it.
Yeah, live stats being used different this year.
Never seen that issue before.
I'll see you on those athletic communications sites there, Ira. You know all of them. Now, Tariq Holmes. One issue here has been the scoring of NJCU. Moore out to Banks. He's got to get going. That shot can't go. Moore can't follow. Off a pair of hands. That touched TCNJ last, and it will stay with NJCU. Unbelievable. 9 points by Jameek Moore, 10 by Caton Darley. Banks and Tony just 2 points apiece. Tony had 19 in the first game in that D3 Hoops Classic in Vegas, and 10 in the second. And that one thrown away. Great steal by P.J. Ringle. We all talk really about his assists, but he can get it done steal-wise as well. Ringle picking up his 26th steal of the season, tops on the team. Walco to Jocelyn, 10 to shoot. Walco, 3-ball. That one rims out. Banks gets it in transition, puts it behind his back. Holmes, got to take your time here on this possession, Ira. Although you see with Banks that space, would you have driven there?
No, at this point you're not forcing something. You need good quality possessions. Everyone's significant.
Banks, to the hard way on that fall away. So Banks with 4 points, and here comes the press. 16-point lead for TCNJ. They led at halftime, 26-17.
Shockingly, that's just the 10th point NJCU scored in the paint in this game.
They're shooting 23% in this one. Ringle on the drive, and he lost control on that. I think Banks may have got a block. Here's Tony in transition to Moore. Looking, threw it away. You just cannot.
He telegraphed that pass. Telegraphed it. TCNJ could read that coming out of his hands.
6th TCNJ steal. And Jocelyn, that one cannot go. So it's funny we've seen these guys, how the referees have seen the process of shooting. I mean, regardless, Ira, because of the foul condition, he's getting free throws. He gets 2, though, not 1 and 1. And he misses the first of 2. Of course, free throws, let's talk about that, Ira. NJCU just 3 attempts, unless we fix the board, but it's at least a plus 10 differential them to the Lions this evening.
3 attempts the whole night. I mean, the stats don't lie there. That's why you're starting to see some of the frustration. And, you hear chirping from the crowd sometimes about, you got to call it even, the foul numbers aren't correct. Well, that's not correct. That's not the way this game is supposed to be called. The numbers are not always supposed to be equal. But I have questioned some non-calls in this game.
6:10 to go. Moore has 9 tonight. Down to Tony. Laying cannot go, and finally drawing the contact and foul he wants. Now Sam to the line for a pair of free throws.
Tony's supposed to be the best player in this conference. He needs to start playing like that if the Knights are going to have a chance here. And I know that he's been beaten up a lot because he's just commanding, just constant contact.
And Tony knocks down the first of 2 at the line. Became the 7th player in NJCU history to surpass 1,500 points. Came in today with 1,547, past Andy Kemp. He has had a great career, Ira. Again, most points in a 3-year period coming into this year. NJCU, been a fun guy to write about, but he'd like to see a championship written about, and it's been tough this year. Bodine, hands off for Ringel. He'll set things up. Obviously, if you're head coach Matt Goldsmith, you want to work the shot clock as you're up by double digits by 15. Jensen just pushed that out a bit. Ringel working on more. Kicks out Egan, 3. That one off the mark. Big board by Tony. Now Sam in transition. NJCU has to start something, and they're going to have to reset the shot clock. But at the same time, though, Ira, that kind of helps you here. If you're NJCU, you should be thinking about a play here to get some points.
Strangely, it may work to their benefit. TCNJ is going to be able to sub here. Walker's going to come out of the game, so we'll see if the Knights can capitalize with him out of the game for a few minutes. Tony's starting to be a little bit more consistent now in the last couple minutes. He's got to play his best 5 minutes of the season right here.
Calhoun, Holmes, Jameek Moore, and Denzel Banks in the 5. Banks on Bodine. To Jameek Moore. Down low, Tony. Sees the double. Out for Banks. Almost got away from him. Denzel driving, spinning. It's rejected by Bodine. It will stay with NJCU. 7 to shoot as Bodine now has registered 3 blocks in this one.
Is that your best shot? Is that a shot you would take? Driving, spinning, throwing it up?
Not knowing where the ball is? No. It's not the shot you should be taking. But 7 to shoot, and NJCU going to get away with it as Bodine now with 3 blocks, and he's recorded a block in 5 consecutive games. And this is his 7th with 2 or more blocks on the year. And he has 24 leading the team, 10 of those against the NJAC. Fans, for in-depth coverage of all NJCU athletic teams, please go to NJCUGothicKnights.com, the official website of NJCU Athletics. On the site, you can find news, statistics, highlight videos, photo galleries, and all their information pertaining to the Gothic Knights. Visit NJCUGothicKnights.com today. Fans, the 2020 NJCU Athletics Hall of Fame class has been announced, and the introduction will be on Friday, February 28th. Congratulations to Jennifer Abuha of the women's soccer, Christian Acuna of men's soccer, and the late, great Julia Caceres of women's soccer. Volleyball coach Christopher Feliciano, all being honored on Friday, February 28th, the 2020 NJCU Athletics Hall of Fame class.
We'll have information on how you can buy tickets in the next week or so. Bob Johnson, Veterans Committee, the first ever Veterans Committee selection. Frank Parisi, one of the winningest coaches in college bowling history, all getting elected this year along. And now we know he's watching at home. Our very own Jeffrey Jordan, one of the great point guards in NJCU history. He's pretty proud of this next fact. He will be the shortest men's basketball Hall of Famer of all time.
Tony, 3. Good! NJCU needed that one. Sam has to get his touch. And so far now, 5 points by him. The last couple of possessions. Now NJCU be smart. It looked like Walco traveled. And Coach Goldsmith able to get a timeout, so good pressure by NJCU. Still around here, down by 12 here on NJCU Gothic Vision. John Kelly Jr. alongside Ira Thor and Paul Tanaselli, your producer and director. Well, we have still two teams that are undefeated coming into tonight in the NJAC. Montclair State in danger of losing their first game, down 38-21 to Rutgers Newark. And the other team, of course, who NJCU will be matching up with on Saturday, Stockton, the other 5-0 team taking on Kane. And, of course, Stockton winning that one handily, 72-38, last time we checked the update. So Rutgers Newark, quite a juggernaut this year. That would be their fifth conference win, by the way. They're 4-1, and one of those 4 wins against NJCU, and it was with a stifling defensive performance. You know, I don't know how you can keep Akbar Hoffman, Parham, some of those scores, 4+ players with 10-point-per-game averages. Ira, I got to tell you, there's got to be some NJAC award for Rutgers Newark this week, because that is a very heavy scoring bunch with that high up-tempo offense of Justin Potts.
I am so impressed with the job that Joe Logren has done. You know, I've known one of the nice things about being a veteran in my role, as I know virtually everybody in the league, so you get to see them over the years. And there's certain people that, you know, if you're not going to be successful or you're not involved, you'd like to see, you know, have that chance. And I've been a fan of the way that Logren coaches defense in this league for years. So to see that team that was not expected to do anything, do what they're doing is actually kind of interesting.
Oh, man, a big slap. NJCU got away with it. Calhoun puts home the alley-oop. Oh, man, you could hear Jocelyn's wrist slap from here as the ball came loose, and that's a give-back call. And the worst part for this is NJCU is over the limit, so free throws upcoming for TCNJ.
You know who's really excited about the Hall of Fame, though? Me.
You. Yeah,
Me.
definitely.
I'm excited.
We have a video on the YouTube page?
Well, I know every single person in this class. And for me, there is no better moment in this profession than seeing people that you've worked with, that you care about, being honored on a moment like that. I know Jeff Jordan's watching at home. He's waited for this, you know, since he finished 30 years ago. You know, Jennifer Buha, Christian Acuna, who I saw play. You know, unfortunately, Julia Castros passed away at a very young age.
Yes.
To her family, this will mean a lot to her. You know, Chris Feliciano and Frank Parisi, who were coaches here that I worked very closely with. Bob Johnson's waited 50 years to get in.
As Tony puts that down, the run now to 9-1. As NJCU has put together something late, Walco runs over Calhoun, but he wasn't even close to being in position. Double bonus, so now free throws upcoming for TCNJ. They led by as much as 17, a 9-1 run, and free throws going to carry him home as Walco leading all scorers with 17. And free throw line, he's been 6 of 9. Shoots 87.9%, second on the team, and he goes 1 for 1 on that one.
Tony's starting to heat up. He's getting closer to double-double range with 7 points, 8 rebounds. But we talked about somebody's got to take over the game. He's got it. If he is the best player in the league, well, take over this game and give your team the comeback win they need.
Banks. That one a wasted 3. And now TCNJ get 2 or 3 here. That would be huge. 9-3 run. NJCU within 11. Got it down to a 9-point advantage. 6 to shoot.
Could make a case as the biggest possession in the game for TCNJ.
Walco for 3. That one short, and actually I thought that hit the rim. And Jameek Moore, that is frustrating because in transition, it's an easy layup. And NJCU now allows TCNJ to get settled. As Ira Thor will step off, see what the shot clock issues are, but that could have been an easy 2 points. Instead, TCNJ gets to set things up as Banks on the inbound. Denzel. Second with 8 double-figure game, just hasn't found his stroke of late. It's a guy who closed last year, 4 double-figure games in his last 5, 12 in his last 17 games. now a full-time starter, but he struggled scoring tonight. Tony, 3-ball, that off the back iron. Holmes trying to knock it home and draws contact going up. Smart move by Tariq Holmes, tried to tap it home, kind of like an underhand, and then gets back, draws contact, and some free throws coming to NJCU. Nice hustle by the junior from Jersey City. So Holmes, 2 free throws.
Crucial shots here for Holmes. See his stats on the year entering the contest. 4.5 points, 3.3 rebounds. He did not make the trip to Las Vegas, and he was missed out there.
Goes 1 for 2 at the line, so now TCNJ going to feel that pressure as Ringel gets it, gets over midcourt. 7-assist night for PJ. Done a great job directing this offense. And JCU switches. 10 to shoot. They're trying to get it in the hands of number 20 or number 24, 32. 6 to go. On the shot clock. Thrown away by Ringel. Now Tariq Holmes in transition to Calhoun. Almost lost control. Gets it to Tariq Holmes. Jameek Moore driving. Laying off the mark. He drew contact. PJ Ringel limping. And that's going to be another problem for TCNJ. This is your floor general. He's going to step off, and Sterling White will replace him. 2 crucial free throws for Jameek Moore. Moore has 5 double-figure games in his last 6, 3 straight. He has 9 this evening, trying to get into double figures. Does with the first one of 2.
Moore, a very good free throw shooter on the season. 18 out of 20 entering the day. He would be one of the tops in the NJAC had he had enough attempts. Of course, he missed 6 games, so he doesn't meet the minimums right now.
Goes 2 for 2 as he was tops, coming in at 90% on the team. What a great rally, Ira. Just 3 points allowed for the last 5+ minutes by NJCU, and in that time, 12-3 run they've put together as they're within 8 here on NJCU Gothic Vision. John Kelly Jr., Ira Thor. Your producer and director is Paul Tanaselli, as NJCU trying to get a much-needed conference win, go to 3-3. And tonight matters, Ira, because with the win tonight, you have the tiebreaker with the College of New Jersey. You have to face TCNJ later. William Patterson won here earlier. It just shows you with all the tiebreakers and you're trying to jockey for maybe first-round home game, how important tonight is and a must-win.
Well, it's a must-win also because you got to defend the home court. You can't be losing home games in the league. Of course, we've only played 5 of your 18 games. The rest of the schedule's all conference from here until the end of the season in mid-February. So there's a lot of basketball still to be played, but you got to defend the home court. The Gothic Knights with a very heavy home schedule to start the year. Can't be losing to TCNJ, and I wouldn't call Packer Hall the most difficult place in the world to play, but you want to win at home and hope to get some wins on the road as the second half of the season continues. Got to defend the home court. Can't fall to 2-5 at home. That would just be unfathomable.
Yeah, it's rare because this team's so good at home. Last year it was tough to beat them, so TCNJ got to get it in. Jocelyn just beat the 5-second violation. Tony then thought he had stolen it. They called a jump ball. I don't know about that one, Ira, but he will stay with TCNJ. So Jocelyn will inbound. Travis been big here. Of course, Jordan Glover, 3 team captains, graduated from this Lions team last year. And looks like a dead ball foul. And it's on Sam Tony, so that's a foul you don't want on here. So free throws coming here. That is Tony's 3rd. As we look at the foul trouble, Jocelyn with 4 for Danny Bodine, and 3 for Ryan Jensen. Those are your bigs here for TCNJ in foul trouble. Moore and Tony with 3 apiece, and Tariq Holmes with 3. So free throws matter. Walco able to knock down the first of 2. Trying to get it to a 10-point advantage, and does. Now under 3 minutes to go. This is the key part of the season for NJCU. Holmes feeds Calhoun, and he puts it home. So Holmes with a nice assist as NJCU within 8. Tony steals, then threw it off of Jensen. Banks, lay-in. No, they're going to call a charge. And fans are livid about that. Unbelievable, Ira. You think that's a 3-point play. All of a sudden, it's a 2-possession game. Wow, what a foul to be called.
Like to see that one again. Here we see the replay. I don't know about that. It's close.
So Walco with it. And his shot off the mark. Jensen easily and over the back, and that will be the 4th foul to Jensen. So now Bodine, Jocelyn, and Jensen. Those are your 3 bigs. 4 fouls apiece for them.
And a good job by Sam Toney to defend there and then prevent fouling. He forced Walco. You could see he was trying to draw the draw the call there, and missed the shot completely. Forgot about the most important part. That's hit the initial shot.
So this will be 1-1 for Tariq Holmes. Of course, as you mentioned, did not make the trip to Vegas. But he's been big here down the stretch. 2 assists and 2 steals as well. And he misses the part of the 1-1. You needed that. And now Walco going to call a timeout. You just needed that free throw. And now NJCU going to have to play some defense and get something back. So it will be a full timeout for TCNJ. 2:29 away from making it a 3-game win streak. And for NJCU trying to avoid a 2-5 start here at home. So if TCNJ was the win, of course they go on the road to Ramapo, then William Patterson. This is how big this game is. TCNJ can hold on here. They defeat Sean Smith and his unbelievable scoring ability from out in the next stratosphere, and William Patterson, they're looking at potentially, Ira, a really good spot in hosting for the playoffs. So it just shows you about these tiebreakers and wins, and just you got to get them in the end, Jack. And as you said, you got to be prepared to play night after night.
One caveat, it's early. It's still very early in the season. It's only 6 NJAC games played at this point, so while the Knights, if they don't find a way to bounce back here, would fall to 2-4 in the league. I mean, you could suddenly figure everything out, John, and find yourselves pulling off 3, 4, 5 wins in a row, and then all of a sudden you're back in the driver's seat.
It's true. I'm not writing anything off, but you're able to pick up a win here. You definitely have the talent to beat Stockton, a team that's going to pick up their 6th conference win and be number 1. That one stolen by Banks. So a great start out of that timeout. Tony to Moore, 3 ball, they need it. Count it, and the foul! A 4-point play opportunity! Wow. Wow, folks. And Jameek Moore, that's a good way to make it 4 straight double-figure games, Ira.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. That could be the catalyst the Knights need. Moore has to hit this shot, and then they need to stop.
And he does a huge 4-point play. It is a 2-possession game. This was a 17-point lead for TCNJ. Now it's a 2-possession game. Walco dunks it home. So NJCU quick here in transition. Nice break by the Lions. Holmes to Tony. Feeds Banks. Lays it home. NJCU within 4. Smart move by Banks to get the 2. Ringel to Jocelyn. He's got to watch out. 4 fouls for him. Jensen with 4 fouls. 1:53 to go. NJCU trying to get a stop. Jensen feeding Jocelyn. Stripped by Tariq Holmes, but it hit him in the process. So it will be 12 on the shot clock. If you're TCNJ, you're going to number 24 here, right, Ira?
I don't know if I am. I think I'm going to go to somebody else because I think Walco's going to get concentrated on. You might go to Jensen.
And Jensen stepped on the back line, so a huge stop. And NJCU with a 2 can get this to a 2-point game with a 3, get it within 1. They have outscored TCNJ since that 17-point mark, really have come back from a 49-32 deficit. 20-7, they've outscored them here down the stretch. That's Tariq Holmes. Shot selection key here, Ira, to Tony. And he threw it off a player. Holmes there to back up. Calhoun, three. That off the right rim. Walko, a huge defensive board. And then draws a foul on Jameek Moore, and that will be Jameek Moore's fourth. Do you think the shot was a little rushed there, though, Ira?
I don't know if Calhoun's who I go to for the shot. He's not a three-point shooter.
So Walko at the line trying to salt this one away. He has 23 points. Man who is averaging 22.3 over his last 3 games. Now has 6 20-point games this year. Had 6 against the NJAC last year. He has 3 against it this year.
Walko 10 out of 13 from the line so far. Certainly who you want at the line if you're the Lions. They've made 27. This will be 29 trips to the line. Knights have just 11 free throws. That's
a
big
huge
miss.
Monster, right you are, Ira. 1,117 career points, came in 18th in program history, passing Don Nolan. Has 1,000 point against Montclair State. This is key right now, Ira. This is the second free throw, and this one bounces out. Everyone's back from TCNJ.
That's still a 2-possession game, 57-52.
All right, this possession matters. You're going to number 30 on this one, or maybe Darley, or 13, Jameek Moore.
I'm going to Jameek Moore the way he's playing right now.
Tariq Holmes. Out to Banks, lays it up, no good, gets his own board. That shot off the mark. What defense by Jensen. And now NJCU has to foul here as we're under a minute to go. 55 seconds to go. And no foul said here by head coach Brown. 49 seconds to go. 45 seconds to go.
I think you can try to get a stop. You don't need to foul yet, and I agree with the call from Abdul Madison, the associate head coach.
I definitely agree with it as well. Walko driving, draws contact.
And all that.
That was a great job. Killed off almost 45 plus seconds, and now Walko with 2 free throws. A chance to salt this one away. And he knocks down the first of 2. Jameek Moore had this within a 2-possession game on a 4-point play on that 3-point knockdown and the foul. Getting some questionable shot selections when you needed it. And it's a 7-point game. Now NJCU has to move quick. Get something here. 31 seconds to go. Holmes to Jameek Moore. They got to fire a 3. 27 seconds to go. NJCU has to get some shot here. Holmes, 3. Off the back iron. And that touched the top of the backboard and down.
They're saying it hit the wire, and it makes it a dead ball.
20.6 seconds to go. Shot clock is turned off. Now you just got to save some time. And Banks will foul. And NJCU, they were within 4 in this one, but TCNJ able to get some crucial stops. And, I look back at that Calhoun 3 and wonder, Ira, really, did it need to be taken at that time? And that hurts.
I mean, is that the shot that you take? Calhoun, great inside player, shooting close to 45%, dynamic scorer inside. 2 of 8 from 3-point range on the season. That's not your shot. Know your shot, know your role, know your capabilities. And he wasn't wide open enough. I play rec league every Tuesday night. I play in a league. I hit shots from 30 feet because nobody's defending me.
Moore, 3 is good. That's the guy who should have had it. 5-point game. NJCU now, you have to stop every moment. Long toss to Jocelyn, and Banks fouls. So smart foul by Denzel Banks. They just lose a second. And Jocelyn to the free throw line. Game not over yet. Of course, double bonus for TCNJ. So that's the 5th Denzel Banks, and he's going to have to come out.
They're going to bring in Scott, and why? He's a great three-point shooter.
Came in team leader with 60% from deep.
And it's not 3 shots. He's taken 10 shots. He's hit 6 this year. So that's a pretty decent size sample right there for the first half of the season for a player who doesn't play tremendous minutes. Scott on the year only averaging 5.8 minutes per game. He's going to play less than that today.
As Jocelyn will knock down the first of 2.
They need a 3 quick. Let's say he hits the 3 and makes it 61-55, 62-55. You need a 3, and you can't burn off more than 2 or 3 seconds off the clock.
Jocelyn, big free throw, so it's got to go quick here if you're NJCU. 10 seconds to go, more, 8 seconds to go. It's got to take a 3. Lost it by Jocelyn. Huge steal by Travis Jocelyn. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and TCNJ. How about that to make it a 3-game winning streak as they come down to Jersey City and knock off NJCU and get a huge conference win. And now, Ira, they move to 3-3. NJCU falling to 2-4 in the conference, 5-8 overall, and TCNJ over 500 to 7-6. And they got it done tonight, really, with stifling defense. Held NJCU to just 29% shooting, and then, of course, 3 players in double figures. Randy Walco, huge down the stretch with 27 points, a game high in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the Knights dug themselves a big-time hole, and they, really showed some life late in the game, but it's another example of too little, too late. You can't ignite with 5 minutes left in the game when you're down by such a large margin, and hope that's going to be the catalyst. They got close. They were right there. They were within 2 possessions. Tony ended up having a decent game after a abysmal start, 9-8, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. But for NJCU, shot selection was questionable at best throughout much of this contest. Guys are maybe being a little bit too selfish, or I don't know if selfish is the right word, but not selective enough, not making the smarter decisions, trying to force a shot, make that extra pass. Make that extra pass, get a better opportunity. What may not be your first look might be your better opportunity. I mean, you look at the shots in this game, yeah, they were a little bit better in the second half, but not much better. 24% shooting in the first half, 32.5 in the second. John, they shot 29% for the game. They shot better from three-point range, 37.5%, than they did overall. That can't happen.
No, it cannot happen. And tough loss here at home. 5th home loss. They moved to 2-5. NJCU in that area actually fall to 2-5 as TCNJ, a big conference win. They go to 3-3 in the conference and 7-6 overall. Big win here with a lot of shakeup as Rutgers Newark going to defeat Montclair State, and Stockton moving now to top in the conference at 6-0 with a easy win over
And that's who NJCU has next. That is the next opponent in a couple games.
So Barry Beal, special thanks to him and the whole TCNJ athletics staff for getting us ready for this game. Great work, Barry, you and your staff, and to our SID, Ira Thor, getting us ready game in and game out. Oh, yeah, you do a heck of a job, Ira. How would I not know about all the things with the women that have been going on? It's been an interesting year. For Paul Tanaselli, I'm John Kelly Jr., NJCU, men and women both fall tonight. Men fall to TCNJ.
And by the way, final closing reading, this is a Gothic Night broadcast, copyrighted production of New Jersey City University Athletics. All rights are reserved. For more information, please contact the NJCU Office of Athletic Communications.